Hey guys, CarsonCat999 here, and today I'm gonna start a Dark Souls 3 walkthrough. And so for the first episode, we're just probably gonna beat Gundyr and get to Firelink, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get as far as I can. And all this is really gonna be is how to easily go through the game without much of a struggle. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm gonna create a new game. I already have other accounts, and in this one we're gonna
Yes,
get the third
indeed.
ending. I'll let you
It
watch
is
the
called
cutscene.
Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital, Yom the Giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Alright, so for this playthrough, we're just gonna probably be a warrior, and yeah, a warrior would probably be easiest. And since we're gonna go through the third ending, it's a lot easier, I think, for starting because you get 5 free levels, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. It has to do stuff with hollowing. And so I honestly think a life ring is one of the best gifts because it gives you a ton more health. And it's just a lot, it makes the game a lot easier. So I'm just gonna put in my name. Okay, now that that's done, I can finalize my creation. You can change your appearance and how buff you are and what your face looks like, but I don't really need to since this is just a walkthrough. I will be skipping a few items, like I won't go after every single item. I'll just go through things that make it easy for the game. And there's a little trick I might show you at Firelink before the end of the video. And this is where we start. And I personally think the third ending is one of the best because, as I said earlier, it's a lot easier, but the ending cutscene's also my favorite out of the three. Okay, so you can keep your shield out. I prefer to do it with PvE. Both PvP, I don't always use a shield, but so this is gonna be pretty easy. So you can read all these red messages on the ground and they teach you the controls for the game. So yeah, you can just look at those if you want to know the controls. So I'm just gonna clear out these guys, and I will show you most of the stuff in this game that I think. There we go. Sorry, my controller disconnected, but it's fine now. And if you pick the warrior, you only need to do one light attack, which for me, since I'm on PlayStation, is R1. And there is a crystal monster over here that will give you some Titanite scales, I think. So you can kill him if you want. I'm not going to because I don't find it necessary because I don't really upgrade my shields. And Titanite's used for upgrading stuff that you need to upgrade to make it like better. So you can just run on down here and make a left. Don't go off the cliff. You won't like only lose a little bit of health, you'll die. And so here is a bonfire. And a bonfire you can rest at to refill all of your health and your Estus. The Estus is like the potions kind of that you start off with this game. And oh, I just got a gesture. And they're used for like healing up, and then there's Ashen Estus flasks which restore your blue bar, but since I'm not doing a mage, oh yeah, and they're the blue bar can be used for magic, pyromancies and miracles, and since I'm not going to be doing that, like they can also be used for weapon arts, which is like the L2 of your weapon, but since I have a shield equipped currently, I don't need it. And so I'm not really going to be focusing on the Ashen Estus flasks. I just want a ton of more Estus flasks, and you can get more eventually. So you can go this way where there's other people, but this way is faster because there's a lot less people in your way. So Gundir's just through those doors over there. And if you went up there, these two people would get mad at you unless you went around. But it's a lot more simple this way. And I'd run like to left and right to avoid these arrows and try rolling if you can, because when you roll in Dark Souls 3, there's a time where you cannot take damage from the roll. So like even if their weapon's right on top of you but you're mid-roll, then you're pretty much safe no matter what you do. But anyways, this is Gundir here. And so what you want to do is you want to remove this sword, but as soon as you do, he's going to get up and try and fight you, or well, he will fight you. And so once he's done that, then we get to fight him. So this is the first boss. It's not a terribly hard fight. You just got to know how to move around. So here, he's going to awaken himself. Now you can start hitting him when he's like that. Okay, so he has pretty well thought out moves. Like, he's not terribly difficult, but you might have a few attempts with him on your first try. Now you can Estus up in the middle of the fight if you want, but you don't have to, but it just heals you enough. So see how I'm kind of low? I'm on an Estus up while I'm waiting. And then you can kind of tell his moves. If you're really struggling with almost any boss, you can just learn their moveset. Oh yeah, when he's transforming here, you want to hit him as much as possible because he can't hit you. And then he's going to do this jump attack, which is pretty easy to dodge, except I missed it there. But he's not a terribly hard boss. So I'm just gonna get under. Oh, I'm almost dead. That would, and you can drink more than one Estus in one go, but it's just, it just takes longer. Okay, and that is Gundyr down. And so he's gonna die, and he's gonna give you a lot more souls than normal enemies would, and he gives you the coiled sword, which you use to get a bonfire in a second. Oh yeah, and then once you kill a boss, you'll get your ember restored, and there's also items in the game called embers. And so what they do is they up your health, and they allow you to play online and summon other people and get summoned. And so you want to try and stay embered and not waste as much as possible. And so then you want to go through this door here, and while you're opening doors, you are invincible, like while you're in the middle of opening doors, but as soon as you finish, you're vulnerable. So if you're trying to run past enemies and you just want to get to a door, then just open the door and then you can't be attacked. So, yeah. And then you want to make your way up here. Actually, down here, if you go down here first, you just get a homeward bone. There's that, all those shinies are items, the like little blue balls. I'm just gonna call them shinies, and they're items. So there's just gonna be a few homeward bones. And since people are using their shields, I do less damage. And sometimes they'll drop items as well from their bodies, and they could be like souls, or they could be a variety of different things. Certain enemies will drop certain things. And you can't skip bosses, like you can't run by Gundyr and just go to the door and open it without him attacking you, because you won't actually be able to open the door if you want to get through. And also shields pretty much neglect almost all damage when someone's shooting an arrow. So keep that in mind. And homeward bones are used for if you're out in the middle of like nowhere and there's no bonfire near you, then you can use them, and then you have a choice of going to Firelink Shrine, which is this place, or you can go to the bonfire you last rested at. So first what you want to do is, this is the person that will level you up, and if you kill her, she won't really care, but make sure you do this first. You put the sword in. She won't care, but like you get nothing from it, you don't get souls. But how you get her to respawn is once you kill her, you go to a bonfire and travel to another one and then come back. But she'll level you up, so I don't really see a point. And you can listen to all this dialogue if you want. I just don't, you don't have to. And so for this, I'm gonna up my health and then maybe a little bit of stamina, and then also some strength, because I'm gonna be doing a mainly strength build. And that's gonna be a lot better for some things. And okay, so here's the next thing. So this person will sell you almost like all the items that you can get. And so she's called the Shrine Handmaiden. And so she'll sell you embers for 2,500 souls. She'll sell you weapons. She'll sell you armor. But honestly, I find that the armor that you find is better. And then there's gonna be this guy here. And he's nice because he'll reinforce your weapons. He'll reinforce your weapons to make them do more damage. I need 2 Titanite shards to reinforce my battle axe, so I can't do that yet. Then you can infuse your weapon and make it do like fire, and make it do more damage just base up, and then do bleed and all this other stuff. And you can reinforce shields as well. That's what I was talking to you about with the Titanite scale. But and you can also repair equipment. So repairing in this game, you see how there's a red bar under my shield and battle axe? Every time I use it against an enemy, it goes slightly down. And if it goes down all the way before you rest at a bonfire, because resting at a bonfire will replenish it fully, it will break, and then you need to go to this guy here, and then you need to go to repair. But you don't just think that resting at a bonfire once it's fully broken will fully heal it. So and then you also have this thing which is called a lot Estus, which that changes the amount of between Ashen and normal Estus you have. And so I'm just gonna get full of that. And then reinforce, you need an Estus shard for that, and Estus shards you'll find throughout the game. I'm gonna be showing you how to get all of them. And then you reinforce it, and then so if I were to reinforce it, I have 5, but now I already have 4. So then what you also want to do is take this off. Oh yeah, and your ring auto equips. But take that off, the Ashen Estus Flask, because it's worth nothing now, because you don't have any Ashen Estus with you. So now if you see that I rested a bonfire, now I have 4 Estus Flasks. And then you'll also get things called Undead Bone Shards that will up the amount of Estus you get. Like not the amount, like how much it heals. And so for this next part, it's kind of a glitch in the game. Oh yeah, and you can collect this, but you have to do that later. It's kind of a glitch in this game where you can jump off of this tree here once you get to the middle and land on this roof here, and that allows you to get one of those Estus shards that I was talking to you about. And you can also get I think a few, like a homeward bone, and then you get a covetous silver serpent ring. And a covetous silver serpent ring just gets you more souls per kill. And I don't always get this jump every first try, but it's not that hard to do. You can get it pretty easily. And so yeah, once you get this jump, it's gonna allow you to get those items, and then it's also gonna open up an area for the crows. The crows are like these things that you can trade with, so that you can get different items and different spells. I think a few of them are, and then that's pretty good because then you can just trade different items. Okay, so you wanna jump by pressing. When you're fully sprinting, if you're on PS4, you'll hit L3, which is just clicking the left stick down. And so let's just run across here, and we're gonna be going in this doorway in a second in there. But first I wanna grab like a crystal lizard, and then there's an NPC down here that I'm gonna show you that it's so there's 2 types of NPCs. Some sell you stuff, some wanna fight you. And so like some will just interact with you, like the ones that sell with you. So that's a guy that we're gonna be killing later. So if you just go on past him, he can't get up here. If you go through here and to your right, there's going to be a crystal lizard past here, and they, if you have to kill them in time, because if they run away fast enough, then they'll teleport away, and then you just have to rest at a bonfire and come back here. And they don't always show up, but that's him there. So you want to kill him as fast as possible. There. Okay. So then you get a Twinkling Titanite, which you can use to improve other different weapons that are better. Like with a weapon we're going to be getting later in the game, you upgrade it with Twinkling Titanite. So that's that part. And now we're going to go back to where you get the Estus shard and then the covetous silver serpent ring. So it's just past here, and then the crows are kind of weird, I guess. They like do weird rhymes, and here I'll show you in a second. So it's just here, and then we'll say, and then they'll just do weird rhymes. And so once you go up here and grab your Estus shard, you want to make another left, and then there's not always going to be this message here, but this is an invisible wall, and there's a lot of these in the game, and so you hit it and then it disappears. So, and then you want to walk along here. This is just over top of Firelink, by the way, so if you look over here, this is like where all those thrones are. That's where the Lord of Cinders, that's where the Cinder Lords are. And so just in this chest here, there's gonna be covetous silver serpent ring, and there isn't like an invisible wall over there. And then you just want to drop down here, and then you want to equip this ring. So as you can see, it says fallen foes yield more souls, which just means you get more souls per kill. So now that you've done that, now you can go back to the Estus guy, and then once I get him, I might, and then kill the NPC, then I might end the video. But so you just want, and it doesn't take any souls to reinforce your Estus. So now I have 5 Estus flasks, and just to make sure that it works, you might want to go to a lot Estus just to check and make sure that you have 5 in Estus flask, or if you're doing another build, just make sure you have the Estus that you want. And so now I'm gonna rest at that bonfire and kill that NPC. Well, first I'm gonna level up and then kill that NPC.
Very well, then.
So I don't know what I'm gonna be doing fully for like the late game and everything, but I like having, 100 endurance is good, and then upping health, because upping health and endurance is good, because endurance is that green bar. That's like how much you can roll, and that's how many times you can attack. and obviously health is the red bar, and the more you up that, the bigger it gets, and then the more hits you can take. And also if you up attunement, that ups your blue bar. And then there's other points that I'll talk about later, but this NPC, he can be kind of challenging. Oh, well, he died. Oh, he must have fallen off somewhere. So if you go up there, sometimes he'll fall off, and like if an NPC falls off, their items will just be up here, but he's like not that hard of an NPC. He'll just attack you with his Uchi Katana, which you can get here. So if you're doing a Dex playthrough, it's pretty good for the beginning. And sometimes this will happen, like they'll go off an edge and they'll die to themselves. So everything that you see in here might not be the same as what you have. So then you can also go up here, and these guys are gonna try and ambush you. If you were to grab this item, wait, this guy dropped something. So you see how he dropped the fading soul? Now that I can go to my inventory, and then I can use this, and then use a soul, and you see how my souls, they just went up by 50. So now I can use this again, but you see how the use selected was highlighted before? Now that it isn't, that means you can't use more than one. So I'm gonna use this one, and the use selected is just to use more than one. So this item, if you try and get it, they'll ambush you, and then they'll kill you. So this is a new shield. Hold on, let me see if this is better. So you see how it says that, okay, so this has more physical protection than this doesn't, but this has better magic when you're guarding. I mean, attack power. This has more attack power, so if you're like hitting someone with your shield, but we're not gonna do that. So this one has more magic resistance, fire resistance, lightning resistance, and dark resistance, but it has lower stability and physical. So stability is like if it'll get knocked out of the way and that. So I'm probably just gonna stick with this shield for now. And also with the Uchi Katana and other weapons, you see in the bottom how there's like 12 and strength and dexterity and 0 in attunement or intelligence. That's what stats you need to wield this weapon. Most of the ones at the beginning aren't that hard, but you see how this one has 16 dexterity. I only have 9, so I can't use the Uchi Katana yet if I wanted. So that's pretty good. But I mean, like, I guess it's not good, but I mean, it's not terrible because I'm not going to be using a dexterity weapon and a strength build. And now that I killed him, I'm going to go, oh yeah, that's why I got 2,000 souls, because he died. That's how much he'll give you. And then you just level up with her, and then you can go to your bonfire, and then next we'll be going to the High Wall of Lothric. So I'm just going to travel there, and then yeah, and then once I get to the starting room, I'll just end the video there. And so if you enjoyed, leave a like and a comment. Also, if you want to subscribe, click the bell icon as well, because then you'll be notified whenever I upload a video. And I'm gonna be doing, I don't know how long I'm gonna be doing this. It depends how long it's fun for me, because I don't know like how much I'm doing this. I just want to do it for fun. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for this episode. See you guys in the next one.